Nutanix has long been known as a pioneer when it comes to hyperconverged infrastructure, also referred to as HCI. Over 25,000 customers today rely on Nutanix for storage, compute, and virtualization. These customers have replaced their legacy solutions, including complex SAN and NAS storage, whether at the edge or in large data centers running mission-critical workloads. Over the years, we've also introduced a rich set of data services, including files and object storage, analytics, as well as database management, all delivered via software on top of our HCI platform. We even built our own hypervisor, AHV, and we've seen phenomenal adoption over the years, with customers demanding an alternative to VMware ESXi. I think what a lot of people don't know is that customers are leveraging Nutanix in the cloud as well. Now, most, if not all, companies today have a cloud strategy. For some, that might be a cloud first or maybe a cloud smart strategy. But no matter the flavor, cloud is front and center in CIO plans today. In the commercial and enterprise space, what we've seen is an evolution towards strategies that are hybrid multi-cloud in nature. Customers don't want to be locked into a single vendor. They want the flexibility to move workloads between clouds and between on-prem and cloud. What makes this very difficult is that each environment has its own set of architectural constructs, cloud-native services, and management tooling, as well as the skills required to design and operate across these various destinations. On top of all this, the size and complexity of enterprise IT makes cloud migration or hybrid cloud projects extremely difficult. In Flexera's State of the Cloud report last year, the number one migration challenge facing customers was understanding app dependencies, followed by assessing on-prem versus technical feasibility of migration at number 2. Now, these are considerations for any app owner, but imagine having to deal with this across thousands of applications, and at the same time, balancing your migration project with data center lease expirations or equipment end of life and countless other operational deadlines. It's no wonder that most of the customers that we come across are behind in implementing their cloud strategy. So how does Nutanix help? Well, all these capabilities I mentioned before, like our hypervisor and our advanced storage capabilities, all those are delivered as software. On-prem, that runs on top of server hardware from our partners such as Supermicro, HPE, Lenovo, Dell, Fujitsu, and most recently Cisco. But we're also able to offer the same capabilities in the cloud, running on top of bare metal IaaS. What that gives customers is a consistent platform for apps and data, whether it's VM-based or for containers. It's the same on-prem as it is in the cloud, with a consistent management experience across all environments. So what does a cloud migration to Azure look like with Nutanix? Last year, we announced the general availability of Nutanix Cloud Clusters, or NC2, on Azure. This is a co-engineered solution that pairs the Nutanix software stack with bare metal from the Azure Specialized Compute team. There are a number of reasons why we built this solution on top of bare metal, which offer significant advantages for enterprises that want to move existing workloads into Azure. First of all, many enterprise applications require consistent performance, and NC2 is built with NVMe storage in your own servers running in your own Azure account. This is not an environment where noisy neighbors or sudden spikes in demand from other customers is going to affect your performance. Secondly, enterprise applications are built on VMs of all different sizes. The resource requirements for each of those VMs may not match available cloud instances exactly, making you upgrade to a larger instance size. Now, if we're only talking about a handful of VMs, no big deal. But when we look at moving hundreds or thousands of VMs to the cloud, all that extra overhead starts to add up, and you end up with a significant amount of unused resources, otherwise known as microwaste, and this can result in much higher than expected cloud costs. By leveraging NC2, you can optimize the placement of your VMs to maximize the underlying bare metal, and in some ways, you're getting the same benefit as when we all move from individual application servers to virtualization. Now, Nutanix customers already know how easy it is to move apps and data between sites. Many of our customers leverage our native snapshot technology to replicate data from remote sites back to a core data center, or perhaps fail over between primary and secondary data centers. Well, in a Nutanix hybrid cloud architecture, the cloud is just another site. you can have your Nutanix on-prem clusters managed alongside your clusters in Azure, all from the same Prism Central view, and you can lift and shift, or as some people call it, rehost your applications back and forth. For new customers, we also make it very easy to migrate from ESXi or Cloud Native to NC2. You don't need to have a pre-existing Nutanix footprint, and don't worry, it's not a one-way migration. If for some reason you need to move back, you can. This is not meant to be a deep dive into NC2. We have other videos and resources available for you to find out all the technical ins and outs of how it works. But hopefully you can see how NC2 can give you that consistent architecture and platform across on-prem and Azure, and how it can help you pick up workloads and rehost them into the cloud. Now for some customers, this is all they need for their cloud strategy. Maybe all they wanted was to consolidate or exit their on-prem data centers and get out of the business of infrastructure management. For others, this is just a step or a milestone in their cloud journey. Now that they no longer need to worry about the timing of data center leases and infrastructure lifecycles, they can focus all their energy and time on app rationalization and modernization. What app should be replaced by a SaaS equivalent, or perhaps re-architected to a microservices and container-based model? What application is working just fine, not going to change in the next few years, and leaving it as is on NC2 probably is going to give them the best ROI. So this is commonly referred to as a migrate then modernize play, or perhaps migrate then innovate. And that's because just by getting over that huge hurdle of being able to move a workload between on-prem and cloud, it just gives you a lot of flexibility and a ton of options. For other customers and certain workloads, migration might not be the end goal. We have a lot of customers that want to extend their applications to the cloud for burst capabilities or to meet seasonal demand. We actually see this a lot with large EUC or VDI customers. That's been a really popular hybrid use case for NC2. One of the benefits that we should mention when it comes to NC2 and Azure is something called Azure Hybrid Benefit. A lot of enterprise applications are built on top of Windows Server and Microsoft applications like SQL Server. Hybrid Benefit allows customers to bring those applications to Azure, including NC2, and in many cases, customers will see significant savings from licensing costs on top of features like dual use rights between environments, as well as extended security updates. Also, just like with other Azure services, you can purchase reserved instances for cost savings in exchange for a term commitment, as well as to lock in capacity. If you're ready to get started, you can reach out to your Nutanix or Microsoft account team, or to your VAR or SI partner. Nutanix has a large ecosystem of channel partners that you can work with to purchase Nutanix software licensing. In the US, you can also purchase that licensing via Nutanix reseller through the Azure Marketplace. There are a number of reasons why you might want to do that. Number one, many customers are looking to consolidate their ISV spend, and by purchasing Nutanix licensing via the marketplace, they can pay for it as part of their Azure invoice. Number two, for customers that have an enterprise agreement with Microsoft, adding Nutanix to their Azure bill may help them meet their contractual Azure consumption as well. Because Nutanix sells via our channel partner ecosystem, this is only available in the US currently, as Microsoft is just starting to roll out their multi-party private offer capability. We expect to see more countries supported throughout 2024 and beyond. You then pair that Nutanix licensing with the required number of Azure bare metal nodes. Now your Nutanix, Microsoft, or partner account team will help you by looking at your workloads that you want to extend or migrate to the cloud and come up with the appropriate number of nodes. You would purchase those nodes the same way you purchase other Azure services today. That could be direct with Microsoft or through a cloud solution provider or CSP. I hope this video has been helpful in explaining how NC2 and Azure can accelerate your move to the cloud, whether that's a full-on migration or extending workloads to Azure in a hybrid model. If you're a customer watching this, what are you waiting for? Reach out and let's see if NC2 can help you jumpstart your cloud strategy today. If you're a reseller or services partner, we'd love to work with you and show you how NC2 can be a great solution to help you deliver real business outcomes for your customers. Thank you.